Good morning and welcome to the start of a new weekly reading vlog. It's 9:30 a.m. It is my first day back at work after my week off and I am about to do some editing. I woke up at 8:15 and I was thrilled. I thought I would get like a nice early start to the week, but it's now been an hour and 15 minutes since I woke up and I spent like a good 30 minutes watering my plants this morning. I have quite a lot of them now, but it is like, it's really exciting at the minute to watch them grow, which I know sounds really boring. But I got my first houseplants in September and most plants are quite dormant throughout late autumn and winter and then start to come to life again in spring. So I've had a lot of plants for a good like 8 months now and they haven't done anything, and then over the last month they've all started to come to life and to grow, so it's really fun to like see their progress on a weekly basis. Sounds really dull, I know, but it's made me really happy this morning while I've been going around and watering them. So my reading plans for this week is that I'm going to be reading some romance. So last night when I got into bed I read 30 pages of Dark Harmony by Laura Thalassa. This is on my Bookopoly TBR to read a fantasy romance, and it is the third book in the Bargainer series. So this is a series that follows a young woman who is a siren called Kelly, and she has a string of hundreds of black beads that wind all the way up her arm, and each bead represents a debt that she owes to the Bargainer. Now the Bargainer is this big powerful fairy male, and as you can probably imagine from his name, he does specialize in bargains, but it is very unlikely that you will ever have more than one debt outstanding with the Bargainer, and he always comes to collect. Now Callie has hundreds of these outstanding bargains, and at the time of the first novel she hasn't even seen the Bargainer in 7 years. She was quite familiar with him, she was accruing all these bargains, and then he just disappeared without a trace and she has no idea why. So the first book is told in 2 timelines. We have the past timeline, which is like 7 years in the past, where she's meeting the Bargainer and getting all these bargains, and the present day timeline where he has finally returned to collect. So there is a fantasy plot line under that, like that's the beginning of the romantic plot line I guess in book 1, and book 1 does heavily focus on the romance. However, there is a fantasy plot line in this series as well, where there are lots of female fairy soldiers that have been kidnapped and they have been returned to the courts that they belong to in glass coffins with a baby. Now the courts have been taking the babies and raising them, even though the children are a little bit odd, and nothing they do can wake up the sleeping women. So the 30 pages that I've read of this so far is really fast paced. I'm really back into it straight off the bat, and I'm excited to see how this one unfolds. I really enjoy this series and I would recommend it if you're looking for more fantasy romance, especially actually if you're a fan of Rhysand from the Akatar series, because Desmond Flynn is very similar to him. So I am going to be chipping away at this throughout the week, but I'm also going to be starting a buddy read today with the wonderful Simon from Savage Reads. We've kind of accidentally started a regular buddy read of romance, which is interesting as well, because the type of romance we're reading is the type that I don't normally read. I'm more of like a fantasy romance girl, or like your indie new adult I guess, and then Simon reads a lot of like lit fic. So we're both pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone a little bit here, and this month we are going to be reading Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is an extremely popular adult romance that I've heard amazing things about, and we are following a young woman in this one called Chloe Brown, who is chronically ill, and she has written a list of things that she needs to do or would like to do to like help her get a life, and she enlists the help of this tattooed muscular handyman. So I've heard that this is really funny. I really hope I like this because I know how popular it is. I think I will, you know, when I read Red, White and Royal Blue, I kind of discovered that I shouldn't necessarily write off brightly illustrated romance covers. It's such a weird thing as well, like why do pretty like fun covers put me off a book? I would also like to say a huge thank you to Bex for gifting me Get a Life Chloe Brown, and also to Nikki for gifting me Dark Harmony. Thank you guys so much. I'm hoping to have a lot of fun with these this week. On that note, I think I better crack on with some work because I have the whole of last week's vlog to edit, and I think it's going to be quite a long one, and then I have an order to pack, a lot of emails to reply to from the last week, and also stock to order. Hey, it's me again. So I haven't been gone very long at all but I just received a book depository parcel, and I think that this is from Cassie, from Sassy Cassie, because she did send me a message and let me know that I was to expect something from the book depository. So we'll crack her open and see what it is. Oh, this is Sparrow by Mary Cecilia Jackson, and I'm pretty sure is this the one that Cassie recommended to me based on the fact that I really love It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. So this says, hope is a dance with wings. Though Savannah Rose, Sparrow to her friends and family, is a gifted ballerina, her real talent is keeping secrets. Schooled in silence by her long dead mother, Sparrow has always believed that her lifelong creed, I'm not the kind of girl who tells, will make her just like everyone else, normal, happy, safe. But in the aftermath of a brutal assault by her seemingly perfect boyfriend, Tristan, Sparrow must finally find the courage to confront the ghosts of her past or lose herself forever. Thank you so much, Cassie. I'm always down for like contemporary recommendations like this, because I don't read a whole lot of contemporary, but I do really love stuff like this. Like It Ends With Us is one of my favorite books ever. So thank you so much. I'm really excited to read this one, and I'm gonna go and get back to my editing now, which I haven't even started yet. Good afternoon. I'm just finishing up with a video I've been working on today. I filmed 2, edited 1, and I have it uploaded, waiting for that to finish so that I can carry on with the scheduling process, etc. And I also have food in the oven. I'm eating a little bit early today. It's only like 5:30 because we're doing squad sprints at 7 on Ashley's channel, which I'm really excited about because I'm really enjoying both of the books that I'm reading. Now, I didn't bring Dark Harmony over with me, but I'm on page 58 of that, I think, and that has just thrown me like straight into the action, and I'm really excited to see how everything's gonna unfold in that. And because it's like 400 pages and I'm on page 60 and I've been thrown right into the action, I'm wondering like what the scope of this book is going to be. I just heard something crash in the background, and as a cat parent that is always worrying. But my other book that I'm reading, Get a Life, Chloe Brown, I got in the bath and read a whole ton of this yesterday, which was it was just the buddy read section that we had. We're aiming to finish this by, I think, Thursday. So I'm 100 pages into this, and I have to say, when I first started it, the first 20-30 pages or so, I wasn't too sure. And one thing, like, you guys know how I feel about British books. I do like some of them, but there's just a lot of like stereotypes, especially in women's fiction or just general books aimed at women by British authors, that I cannot stand. So I started this and I read a couple of pages and I thought, this seems incredibly British. So I checked, and Talia Hibbert is actually British, which I never knew. So I thought, okay, did not know this information, but we'll carry on, we'll see what happens. And the second thing I noticed is that her writing style is very, I don't want to say simple because I feel like that has negative connotations, but it's just a very easily readable writing style, but with very short sentences. And I wasn't feeling the writing style, but then by the time I got to the page like 40-50 mark, I was starting to enjoy it. And now at the page 100 mark, I'm very intrigued. So the first thing is that I love the banter in here. During like the first 20-30 pages of it, I was noticing like where the book was slightly humorous and I just wasn't feeling it. It kind of felt like a little bit on the nose and I wasn't having a great time. But then I found out that this book is actually funny in areas that I don't expect. So there's times where I will like pick up on where the humor's trying to come through. I may be feeling it, I may not, but then it'll just like appear out of nowhere. Like one of the characters will just say something really funny, and it honestly, it makes me snort laugh. Also explicit. I know that the romance in here was going to be steamy because people always say that it is. I was expecting probably kind of on the same level as Red, White and Royal Blue, where it's not like incredibly explicit. Like, you know what's going on, you know what's going where, but it doesn't lay the words out directly for you in a lot of instances. This is like super explicit, and I'm only at the 100 page mark, so like it's gonna get worse. Better. I'm gonna say better. It's only gonna get better from here. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I love the banter. There is a tree scene in here. If you've read it, you know. Absolutely loved that. And I love the way the main characters are interacting with each other, because I guess like the setup for this is that we're following Chloe Brown, and she has fibromyalgia. So she has chronic pain and she has to deal with this every single day of her life. And with her having an invisible illness, a lot of people don't believe her or think that she's making it up when she says that she's not feeling too too great. So after a near-death experience, she writes a list on how she's going to get a life, because she's been living quite like comfortably or safely, I guess, never pushing herself outside of her comfort zone. She doesn't have many friends, so she makes this list, and in the prologue the very first item on her list is to move out. So this story starts when she moves into a building where Red, who is a love interest, is the superintendent. This book is also dual perspective, so we get Red's perspective as well, but Chloe has always lived with her family. She's from a very well-off family, so she's never had to move out. They live in quite a big house, but she's decided she wants her independence. She's moved out into this like middle-class building where Red's the superintendent, and he is from a less affluential background. He's really into art. He had a bad relationship where he went out with this woman who was like quite well off, and so when he looks at Chloe, he just sees somebody who's like high class, real snooty, real snobby, and wants nothing to do with her. Whereas Chloe is very direct, very to the point. She's very abrupt, and her style of humor is very sarcastic, very flat, and very blunt. So those two are just constantly clashing, and I am living for it. So I'm really excited to read some more of this today. I think, is it another 80-ish pages? Yeah, today's section is 90 pages, so I'm glad that it's quite a chunky one. This book isn't incredibly long, so today's section's 90 pages, tomorrow's section's 100, and then, oh, okay, I thought it was like 320 pages, but it's 370, so then our last section will be 80 pages. So I'm gonna blast through a chunk of this today and then see if I can get to at least the page like 100 mark in Dark Harmony. But I'm having a great time with both of the books I'm reading, and it's really just putting me in the mood to fly through some romance this week.
Kinds of things life throws at you. I never knew I'd feel so safe in your arms. Now you're all I need. It wasn't long before I knew that I fell for you and you had my heart. As fast as the seasons change.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, I think, and I just received birthday gifts from Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. You may be able to get a little hint of what they are here, but I was too excited to vlog when I was opening them. And honestly, they're from Patch Plants, which is where Ashley got most of her plants from. And these boxes are like a puzzle. Like, I could not get into this box. Doesn't help that I have nails, I have to say, that made it excessively difficult. But it was a struggle. So I have them out of the box. I think I know what both of them are, because I don't think, does it say anywhere? Oh, invoice. I think I know what both of them are though, so I'm going to have a little guess before I look at the invoice. One of them is a type that I already have, but two of them actually different colours, but they're like, are they my favourite plants at the moment? They might be, because they're really satisfying me with their growth. Oh my god, I shouldn't be doing this here, it's gonna leak soil everywhere. But the first one is another satin pothos, I think, also known as a devil's ivy, and these satin ones, or is it variegated? I think it's just satin because it matches my other one. So the satin ones are green and yellow, I believe. And then this one I'm really fucking excited about, because my monstera I have is not actually a monstera, it's a mini monstera, which would then imply that they are monsteras, but it's not a real monstera. It's a different species of plant that kind of looks like a monstera but isn't one. I've been looking at this, which at first I wasn't sure what it was, because I was like, we got some nice big leaves here, kind of similar to satin pothos leaves. But then we saw this one that has been slightly damaged in transit, but that looks like a monstera leaf to me. So those are my guesses. I'm going with a monstera deliciosa, I think is the species, and a satin pothos. So let's see if I'm right. Is this in, oh, it's not in Russian. Maybe not a satin pothos. This one is definitely a monstera deliciosa. So thank you, Ashley, because that was, I was thinking last night, I was looking at my monstera and I was like, I love you, I do, but I really wish you were a real monstera. And now I have a real monstera. So that is very exciting. These babies have been through the wars a little bit in transit, so I guess I'm spending my morning sorting my plants out, which is the best way to start a day. I'm just going to look up what this says the other one is, which is a epipremnum. Oh no, it is a pothos, but it's not. I don't think it's a satin one. It's a golden pothos. So I'm pretty sure the one I have up there is satin. Over there we have marble, and then we also have golden. So thank you so much, Ashley. I'm collecting like all of the Devil's Ivy types. If y'all know of a Devil's Ivy type that I don't have, then I feel like I need to know because I need the full set. I'm going to, like, I've woke up late again. I really need to stop. I got to put 8:15 on Monday and it was the best. And then I've slipped into getting up at 11 AM again. So I really need to fix that because I had such a great day on Monday. And if I get up past 9 AM, I just feel shit because I feel bad about all the stuff that I can't do. Even though today I only have to edit a video, I think. Yeah, that's all I have to do, so it's not even a big deal. But I do have another box here, and I believe that this box is from Shelflove. It says Owlcrate no, chocolate yes. And I mentioned at the beginning of my birthday unboxing video that I had a box of Icelandic chocolate coming my way. Okay, so first off we have a little card that says she believed she could, so she did. And it says, "Dear Becca, happy birthday, enjoy the chocolates, Shelflove from Iceland." Wow, I just realized that I'm not going to be able to tell you guys what any of these are because Icelandic, but these are bright yellow and they look like this. Not entirely sure what they are, but to me it looks like bright yellow coated chocolate wrapped around licorice. We also have this. This is like great because literally unless I open these and eat them, I actually have no idea. Luckily, like, I'm not allergic to anything or anything like that, so it's not a problem. It's just like a game of risk because we don't know what we get until we're eating it. We also have this one. And we have a couple of each of these and they look like one is plain milk chocolate and the other one is caramel. Then we have this box which looks like they say cognac on them. Oh, I can read this one. This one says marzipan. So yeah, we have the one that I can read which says marzipan. We have this which looks like a Maltese bar. We have this which again looks like chocolate with licorice in. Oh, that would make sense actually because like I'm not pronouncing this right, but licorice maybe, and licorice again. Is this, yeah, Freyu? Is this Freyu? Icelandic people, don't laugh at me. Is this Freyu? And then licorice for licorice. And we have more licorice. Freyu mean chocolate? Because this says Freyu too. This says Freyu Sour. I don't want to squeeze this one because it feels like cake, but in honor of these new exciting things arriving, I'm going to try one of these little, oh my god, these will look yours I think, the little gold ones, but oh my god, they're different. There's peppermint, cognac, alcohol maybe, caramella is caramel. And does that say banana or does it say ananya? Oh my god, no, we do have English instructions on this one. By instructions, I mean ingredients. But I want to try one of the ones that I don't quite know what it is. Banana's interesting because like banana chocolate is not a flavour that I would associate with chocolate in the UK. This smells so alcoholic. But we will try banana. It's nice, but still banana to me is just a really weird flavour to associate with chocolate. And let's try cognac. I don't know whether it is cognac like alcohol or whether it's like a word that means something. It's soft. Is it alcoholic? I can't tell, but it's definitely nice. So thank you so much to Ashland for these, and thank you to Ashley for my plants. But I am going to go and repot them now and then crack on with making a video. Good morning. I just have a quick little opening for you guys because I got something in the mail. Don't know what this is. Bobby from Bobby Reads said that she was on Etsy and she bought me a couple of things. So like there's still something to arrive. This is the first one and I have no idea what it is. I'm opening it without looking at it right now. I feel like it's going to be moderately offensive to me, can't lie, and Bobby's really excited about me getting this, which makes me even more worried. So it feels like a print. I've read the note first before I've actually looked at whatever this is, and it says, "Made just for you. To Becca, because your patrons adore you. Love Bobby and the rest of the Face Smut Addiction Den." And the Face Smut Addiction Den is what I want to say what my Patreon group on Discord call themselves. That's not what they're actually called. And this is, oh my god, it's a print that says, "You're my favorite twat waffle, the Face Smut Addiction Den." To be fair, in terms of like how, like what I was expected from this, I was expecting something incredibly phallic, can't lie. This is not as bad as I was expecting. Thank you so so much, Bobby. I will. I'm gonna frame this. I don't know where I'm gonna put it yet. I'll probably just stick it up next to my desk because I have actually just noticed while I do have shelves and stuff here, I do have this empty space where I could pop something. I could also pop a plant on my printer, to be fair. So thank you, Bobby, so much for this. In terms of reading, I'm not going to tell you much about Chloe Brown aside from that I am loving it, and some of the spicy scenes have had me like sweating because they're so good. But I am on page like 290 something of that, so I am going to be finishing that today, and I will come and let you guys know my full thoughts when I've done that. I have finished Get Alive Chloe Brown. I gave it 5 stars, like each, because this was split down into 6 chapter sections because me and Simon were buddy reading it. Each 6 chapter section just got better, and then the level of angst at the end, like I was living for it. So 5 stars for this one. It's another book checked off my Bookopoly TBR. I really love the humor in this, which is one of the things I was most worried about. I will say that I continued to struggle to picture the characters a little bit, and I think that's an issue I have with illustrated covers like this that have cartoonish, like Crochet style characters on the cover, because I picture it in a weird cartoony way, which makes me struggle with romance a little bit. And I looked up Hot Ginger Viking because Red has like tattoos, a motorbike, long hair, and I wanted to get a picture of like what he looked like, and I just found Tormund from Game of Thrones, which then killed the mood for me a little bit. I will say I adored the smut in here. I loved the relationship and just how like good it was and how good they are. I just really loved it, and I'm shocked because you guys know me. When I go for like a normal contemporary romance, I tend to go for the more problematic ones, I want to say, that are real dramatic, like not like your ideal man. Like the men in the romances I read are realistically not the ones that you want to aspire to be with, and this was just such a pure romance with a lot of fucking smart that I really enjoyed. I will say as well for this that this is something that only clicked like towards the end of it, and it's a really weird one for me to explain, but you guys know that I love the Georgie Nicholson series by Louise Renison. If you like the humor in the Georgie Nicholson series, I think you will like the humor in this. I think it's just because some of the humorous moments kind of just come out of nowhere and are a little bit bizarre, like with the Confessions of Georgie Nicholson series, so that is something to think about. If you are a fan of Georgie Nicholson, then I think you will be a fan of Chloe Brown. But that is one book down. So I'm still currently reading Dark Harmony by Laura Thalassa. I'm on page 114 of this. Still really liking this one. I didn't pick it up yesterday, so that is my progress as of Tuesday night. So I want to get a little bit more into this tonight, but I also just received a very exciting arc, and usually when I receive an arc, like I can't read them immediately because I have a TBR and stuff, and if I read an arc as soon as I get it, then that pushes everything else back. But just so happens I'm currently in the middle of a romance reading vlog, and this is the only romance book left on my Bookopoly TBR, so my plan was to finish this one and then pick something else up anyway. So imagine how perfect it was when the wonderful Kelsey, also known as KJ Sutton, the author of Fortuna Swan, sent me a message and said that the arcs for her secret project are just about going out and would I like one. This is a completely secret release. She's posted that she's working on a secret project. She hasn't said what it is, she hasn't revealed the title, the cover, or anything, and I have it on good authority that this book is going to be available the day that this vlog goes up, which makes it a perfect book to read in this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and do just that. But this one is called Straight Until Morning by KJ Sutton, and as you can imagine from the title, it is a smutty Peter Pan retelling. Now I don't have a synopsis to refer to for this because it is a secret release. I will say it has a whole bunch of trigger warnings because I have flipped through the first couple of pages of it, and we have a whole page at the front of the book that is just for the triggers in this one. So for those of you guys who need your trigger warnings, the ones for Straight Until Morning are scenes or themes of dubious consent, sex, profanity, queerphobia, sexism, murder, amputation, and an animal death. So that's what you're getting into if you pick up this book. I'm really excited to dive into it. As you know, I adore Fortuna Swan. Yeah, I'm excited. Don't know if I'm going to start it tonight or whether I'm going to continue on with this for a bit, but honestly this could not have happened at a better time and I'm so excited to dive right in. Okay, so I'm back again already, but I just got an epic stack of Amazon parcels. These are all from my patrons. Thank you guys so much. I do know what a couple of these are, and also one of them is something that I did order for myself that I've been waiting for all day, so I'm not sure if it's going to be this one, but I do also have pizza in the oven as well, so we're just going to rapid fire through these. But this is not the one that I ordered for myself. This one is Dreaming Sun Volume 5 by Ichigo Takano. This one is from Harry and it says, hope you enjoy this, lovely. Thank you so much, Harry. Dreaming Sun is like a young adult contemporary. It's a shoujo manga and follows a girl who moves out of her parents' home because she's feeling displaced with her father having remarried and had a new baby, and she stumbles across this drunk guy in the park who says that she can go and live with him providing that she fulfills 3 conditions. The first one is to tell him why she ran away from home, the second is to find his missing house key, and the third is to have a dream and fall in love. I really enjoyed the 4 volumes of this that I've already read, so thank you so much to Harry for sending me the next installment. Still not one that I ordered for myself, but this is one of the ones that I thought was coming. This one's from Lauren. It says, I'm late, I know, but here's a little gift just for being amazing. Thank you so much, Lauren. This one is Take a Hint, Danny Brown, which is the sequel to Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I just really want to beast through these right now, but I'm going to be buddy reading the entire series with Simon now. We talked about it this morning, so you can expect me to read these pretty soon. Sadly not immediately, but pretty soon. The thing that I ordered for myself, I believe, which is a portable hard drive for my computer. So moving on. This one, oh my god. This one is Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. And does this one have a note in it? I might read this one this week because Heartstopper's really quick because the panels are enormous in here. But I don't think this one has a note. So if you did send me this one, then please let me know and thank you so much. Although I am probably going to go into my Discord and ask, so I will get an answer to that pretty soon. And then the last one is from Bex. It says, hey, hope you love this one as much as Chloe and Danny, assuming you love Danny as I think you will. Think someone got to Danny Brown before I did, from Bex. Thank you so much, Bex, because this one is actual age Eve Brown. So I now have, I've lost the other 2 already, all 3 of the Brown sister books, and I've just noticed that Danny Brown is like hella thick. And as you can imagine, after just 5-starring Chloe Brown, I am hella excited to continue with this series. So thank you so much to all of my lovely patrons who do too much consistently for a big old stack of new books. Also very brightly colored books as well. Like, these are not my usual kind of books that I get, but I'm so grateful and so excited to read all of these. Hey, good afternoon. I am in the middle of making candles, but I just got this little Amazon box, so I'm just gonna whip her open real quick. This vlog is like all unboxings. Ooh, I don't know what this is, but it looks like it comes in a pretty box, and I think that this could possibly be from Harry. They did say that something may be coming for me today, so let's have a little look at the note. Yes, it is from Harry, and it says, finest quality mugs, dishwasher safe, and jolly good fun, exclusively designed and printed in England. So let's have a little look and see what this is. Why can't I get it out of the sleeve? This should be pretty simple. So this is really pretty. Oh my god, let's have a look. There's a magic box mug from Buffy. So it says Sunnydale, California, the magic box with this beautiful design on it. Thank you so much. Y'all know that I am a massive Buffy fan, and it's funny that this just arrived actually, because while I was waiting for my wax to melt, I was currently in the process of researching how to host a watch along for my patrons, because we're going to be starting like an epic Buffyverse watch along. So thank you so much for this, Harry. I have just put it back in the box for safety. I absolutely adore it. So I am joining Sprints on Steph's channel in around 15 minutes, but I have received a couple of parcels. I have opened both of them, and at this current moment I do not know who either of these ones are from. But the first thing I got was this little cute crocheted cat, and it's like a mini baby Hamilton. His whiskers are a bit askew, probably because Hamilton has been playing with them. He does like this very much, and on the back it has a cute little label that says ham on it, and it's so adorable. So thank you very much if you sent me this. And then the other thing I received this morning is absolutely beautiful, and that is 2 prints from Joe Painter Art. Now Joe Painter is a artist whose work I really love, and I've been waiting for her shop to open for a while so I can order some stuff, but these 2 arrived today. So the first one, this one, is a Nessian print, and this one is a, I guess, just like Mass Universe print with Selena, Bryce and Farah on it. But both of these are absolutely stunning, and they will definitely 100% be added to my print wall. I do think, I'm not sure if these are A4, but I do have a spare A4 frame, so I will be able to frame at least one of these if they are indeed A4, which they do look like they are. So thank you so much to whoever sent me both of those. Reading wise, I'm in a little bit of a pickle now because I have 140 pages of Dark Harmony left, and I have not, well, I have kind of started Straight Until Morning. I've read about 6 pages, but I'm not very far in at all. So I want to definitely finish this today, and I need to get a decent way into Straight Until Morning as well, because I still intend to finish both of these books before I finish this vlog, which Straight Until Morning is 380 Kindle pages. I mean, Kindle pages are smaller than usual pages, so maybe I'll be all right. Those are my plans for the rest of today and also tomorrow. So the next time you hear from me, hopefully I will have finished Dark Harmony. I'm really loving this, by the way. I just love Desmond Flynn, and it started off like putting us straight into the action, as I've mentioned, but we have had quite a few nice romancy bits as well. And something that I do enjoy about this series is that I tend to find that I'm all about the anticipation of a romance happening, and then when the romance is established, I don't enjoy it as much. But with this, I'm still continually invested in the romance. I don't think that the romantic interactions are overdone or overly cheesy, and I also really enjoy the fantasy element in here as well. It's pretty much non-existent, and it is the weakest in the first book, but I do think that as the series goes on, you get a lot better balance between the romance and the fantasy. So I'm really excited to finish this today, because I also just finished on a plot twist. So I'm gonna go and join the sprints and spend the next few hours reading, and hopefully get through a considerable amount. Like, I mean business today. I need to get these books read.
Nothing in this world can make me feel the way that you do. Feels like I'm dancing on moonlight of all the
Hokey cokey, it is 5:36 p.m. and I have accomplished my first task of the day, which was finishing Dark Harmony. I gave this 4 stars in total. I really enjoyed this, and I think it was a solid end to the series. It kind of wrapped up that main plot line. I think Laura Thalassa did a good job of like pacing the plot throughout the story. Obviously, as I mentioned, like Rhapsodic is a lot more romance heavy, whereas the sequels are a lot more like plot heavy, with the romance like still there throughout. So like, I was really happy with Rhapsodic on its own and what it did with the romance. And then I like how the plot kind of carried on the rest of the series. The further installments for me didn't feel tedious because we were still getting that good balance of romance and plot. I will say that within the end of this book and how everything wraps up, it was a little bit predictable. I picked up on the foreshadowing earlier in the book a mile off, so I kind of knew what elements were going to be drawn into the story to bring it to the final conclusion. That being said though, it's still thoroughly enjoyable. I really like Laura Thalassa's writing, and I do think it has improved since Rhapsodic. Hamilton is trying to get his head into my bag of Maltesers, so I'll just pop those up here. And I really enjoyed the way that she wrote the relationship of Des and Callie, which, as I said, I don't feel like it got overly cheesy, as I have experienced with some romances, especially as we get later into the series and the romance is more established and not a will they won't they kind of situation. So thoroughly enjoyed that. The only thing that I'm real sad about with this is that the series is over now and I have no more Desmond Flynn in my life, which is devastating, honestly. But this was also on my Bookopoly TBR to read a fantasy romance, and now comes the tricky part, because I am now going to be starting Straight Until Morning by Kelsey. Yeah, the Kindle app is not giving me the actual page numbers, so we're gonna say that it's like 380 pages. So I have no idea how long it is actually gonna take me to read this book, but I am going to be finishing it by tomorrow. No matter what happens, that is going to be my aim. And you know, it's only 5:30 p.m, so I do have some time today. What I will say is that I was unsure of what exactly the synopsis of this was, and then I remembered that I'm an idiot because I helped Kelsey to write the synopsis for this book. So I know exactly what it's about. I literally have the synopsis right here. So it is a Peter Pan retelling. It's set in 1895, and Wendy's family have fallen on hard times. They're running out of money, they're in a lot of debt, and a woman called Lady Bainbridge approaches Wendy and says that if Wendy can kill Peter Pan, then Lady Bainbridge will pay Wendy a lot of money for this. So Wendy takes on this task and she adventures to Neverland with the intention of killing Peter. However, as she grows closer and closer to the moment where she's going to end his life, she realizes that there is an attraction growing between them, and she questions whether she can actually kill him after all. So there is your synopsis that I forgot that I had, even though I helped to write the thing. And yeah, I'm gonna get stuck into that now. We are still doing sprints, and there is currently 25 minutes of the sprint that we're on, so I'm gonna make a start, gonna have some dinner soon, do a little bit more reading tonight, and then finish this up tomorrow. But I will let you know how it goes as I read it. And yeah, I'm expecting great things. I'm really excited. Good afternoon, my friends. I thought I would just come and give you guys a little bit of an update on Straight Until Morning, because it is 1:30 p.m. and I'm determined to have it finished today. I'm just over the halfway point. I've just spent like an hour and a half reading to try to get to around the page 200 mark, or the assumedly page 200 mark. So I'm just past the halfway point now, and I am really enjoying it. My kind of problem with it at the minute is not an actual problem with the book, but it's just very shortly after I started it, I remembered that I actually read Peter Pan last year, and I don't actually like Peter Pan all that much as a book. And when I read Peter Pan, I enjoyed the portions in the real world more than I enjoyed Neverland. I really like Peter as a character, and my heart just hurts for him, even though he's a little bit of a shit, essentially. Transferring that into Straight Until Morning, once again, I really like the character of Peter. I like the twist that Kelsey put on this, with it being a little bit of a romance as well, but also capturing the nature of Peter Pan as a character, and how he's been hurt a lot in his life, and that's formed who he is and why he believes in the things that he does, and why he does some pretty terrible things. But that has been ramped up a little bit because this is like a new adult fantasy romance as opposed to a classical children's story. But then under all of that, like with Peter Pan, I can't help but feel for Peter a little bit. I am also enjoying Neverland as a location. There are lots of elements of Peter Pan that I don't like, which are transferring a little bit into this, but I am enjoying the exploration of some of the locations, some of the more like wondrous elements of Neverland, and also Wendy's kind of awakening, because as a character she is actually reminding me a lot of Alice in the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland movie. She's somebody who wants to sail, wants to explore. She's interested in things that aren't conventionally what women like to do, or I guess what society allows women to do. And Neverland is freedom for her for the first time in her life to be interested in certain things and explore certain things, as well as being very adventurous. She also likes her romance and her smutty novels, and she is also having like a sexual awakening, I guess, as well, through Peter and the exploration of Neverland and the freedom and the lack of societal expectations that have kind of stifled her throughout her years growing up in London. I will say that the book was quite slow to start. We spent more time in the real world than I would have liked, because when you go into Peter Pan, or a Peter Pan like story, the exciting thing about it is Neverland. So I felt like we did spend not necessarily too much time, but more time than I expected us to in London before we got the plotline moving where we went to Neverland, and the pacing is kind of slow overall, but I will say that I'm really enjoying the writing and that is keeping me compelled. Like, I've just sat and read 90 pages like without even pausing between the chapters, which is very unlike me. I'm getting better at it because you guys may have noticed that my trend at the minute seems to be not really reading for most of a week and then sitting on Sunday and blasting through like 200, 300 pages. So my focus is getting better when it comes down to it, but I'm not bored. I'm like noticing that the pacing may be a little bit slow, but the writing is still keeping me engaged throughout. So I'm currently on a little bit of a reading break because I still have, according to the copy I have on my phone that is page numbered, I don't actually know what the page count for this book is or what it's going to be when it's released, but I currently have it as 383 pages. I'm currently on page 206, so I have like 180 almost pages left to go. So while I'm feeling really optimistic, while I've read a lot so far, I've still got like half the book to go. So I'm going to take a little break, make sure my video is scheduled and everything's fine for later today, and then get back in it. And I think I'm going to try and make it to the page 280 mark, take another break, and then read the last 100 pages. Okay, so I feel like it's becoming a bit of a habit that all of my vlogs on a Sunday end here with me looking disheveled at a ridiculous time. But it is 1:30 a.m. and I just finished Straight On Till Morning. I was actually going to update you guys in the morning before I started editing this vlog, but that ending completely blindsided me and I just was not expecting it. I wasn't expecting it. So I gave it 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. All of the things that I said before still stand. It does have a very slow start, and then I feel like later on in the book some of the action scenes are a little bit like too fast paced, and I still agree with what I said about Peter Pan in general. Like, in the story of Peter Pan, I don't like the bit in Neverland, and I feel like with it being a Peter Pan retelling and still having the same tone as Peter Pan, that led to me not loving some of the sections in Neverland because I just generally don't like Peter Pan. But I do really love the character of Peter. I'm just sad, you know, like my heart hurts for Peter in Peter Pan and also in Straight On Till Morning. I really enjoyed Wendy and how her character was changed and how she had all these dreams and ambitions that she was trying to achieve, and how Neverland was like a big escape from all of the responsibility that she had, and how her character grew and developed and embraced this freedom throughout the story. And I also really enjoyed Kelsey's writing in this. It has a completely different tone to Fortuna Swan because the story of Peter Pan starts in London, so it is a story set in England, and Kelsey is an American author, and I do think it also captured the historical and kind of classic tone, I want to say, of a story such as Peter Pan that is set in the early 1900s. So yeah, really enjoyed it. And that ending, oh my god, I'm gonna text Kelsey and call her lots of things as soon as I'm done with this update, because I'll let you guys read it for yourself. It has also as well, it has just been released now. I did mention earlier that it was going to be released on Tuesday, but everything was sorted a little bit ahead of time, so it has been published today on Sunday. It doesn't really matter. The important thing is that by the time this vlog goes up, the book will be available. I'm really glad I read it. I'm surprised I read it because it is like, I checked the Goodreads page now that it's up, it's like 390 pages, and I started it at 5 p.m. yesterday, and I am not one for sitting down and reading a lot all at once. So that was a little bit of a romance reading vlog. I did have different plans for this at the beginning of the week, but I could not turn down the opportunity to read Straight On Till Morning straight away. So next week the vlog will have a little bit of a different tone because I'm moving on to some adult fantasy. But I do hope that you have enjoyed this vlog if you guys have made it this far. If you have, please don't forget to like if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.